All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. I'll say this. It's a beautiful West day, and you're welcome to Women's Corner with me, Rose Blossom. It's exciting to be here, and of course, we know tomorrow is the 1st of August, the start of a new month. And for those who have August meeting, get ready. Hope you have your money prepared. And for those who are salary earners, congratulations to you. You have money to spend now, even though the economy is hard. But there's this joy where you hear this a lot on your phone. Welcome to Women's Corner. Like I said, again, its corner is about talking about women, where we empower ourselves, educate ourselves. We talk about our experiences. We share thoughts and ideas and knowledge that we've had as we've experienced as women, and of course try to teach the younger girls. And even if we have not experienced it from around us, our environment, we tend to talk about it. Now, do not forget that this program runs, from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday through Friday, so you don't miss any. Just in case, there are a lot of empowerment programs that are going on. So if you want to know how to get some freebies when it comes to empowerment, healthcare and all of that, this is the best corner for you as a woman. Even when you are going through something and you think you're the only person, right here on this show, we have people that have gone through what you have gone through, and they are here to speak to you, to talk to you about it, that you are not the only one standing, and they will advise you. Today's topic, we're talking about anxiety and depression in women. It's a women's corner, so that is why we talk about all of this. So anyways, don't forget, we're streaming live on Facebook and Twitter. Just type in Galaxy Television, and of course you have the page up, so you can just join all of our programs live. And also, if you cannot go through Facebook, or you don't have a TV screen beside you, you can actually download Galaxy Television app from Google Play Store or Apple Play Store and watch all of our live sections. You're welcome again. Before I introduce my Zoom guests to you, we have two Zoom guests today, as usual, but these are amazing personalities, and really they have a lot to dish out on this topic. It's not the usual about talking the steps to avoid. No, we're going to talk from our hearts as women talking to women. So you don't want to miss today's episode. So let's go on a short break so I can introduce my guest and we can start talking, because our time is almost already fast spent. We'll be right back after the short break. All right, yes, welcome back. So we have Michelle Toby Adesoya on the screen, and she is a speaker, an entrepreneur, an author, a creative director, a creative director of Lena Creations, an empowerment advocate. Can we have Michelle Toby Adesoya on the screen? Hi, Michelle. How are you doing this morning?
Thank you for having me.
Good. Thank you so much for joining too. And also a second guest is Mercy Ishola. Mercy is a family and life coach. She's a child sexuality expert. She's also the founder of Parenting Hub and a writer. And most of the times when you hear people are writers, they have their books, like a lot of books they've written. Welcome to the show, Mercy Ishola.
Good morning. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for joining in. So let's just get talking already. Now, I just want people to understand. I'm going to throw this to you, Mercy. What's the difference between anxiety and depression? Now, a while ago during the program, someone said there's a difference between feeling depressed and being depressed. Feeling depressed is just a feeling. It's just like you're sad. But when you are depressed, it's when you've gone through some tests and some training, just spoken to some expertise, and they actually told you you're depressed, so they can start working on those things that made you depressed. So we just want to know, what is the difference between anxiety, when somebody is anxious or something, and the difference between depression, because we know there's an anxiety disorder and also there's a depression disorder, which is very different. But we just want to break it down so that every woman listening in every age and stage can understand what we're saying. So what's the difference?
Okay, thank you for that question. So let me establish that the two, both depression and anxiety, are mental health condition. Okay, and so it's very important we know that. So depression is a feeling of being depressed. You are sad, sadness, hopelessness, and sometimes you don't have the energy to do things. That is depression. And for anxiety is when you feel you are worried, you dread taking some steps, and you're nervous. Okay, so now I'm able to differentiate between the two. So while depression causes sadness, and sometimes you don't have the energy to do things that you used to do, anxiety, on the other hand, is when you are worried. And when you're worried, you are nervous. You are nervous of doing those things that you used to do, or even taking new steps. But the two are mental condition, and they are critical mental condition. Okay, but as much as the two are different, okay, it's possible to suffer for the two at the same time. So it's possible
Time.
for one person to feel depressed and at the same time have anxiety. It's so possible.
Uh,
So when you have the two, that means that you feel agitated. It comes with agitation and hopelessness. So when you have the two, that means that you have depression and anxiety and at the same time.
Wow, I was just about to ask you that is it possible for one person to have anxiety and at the same time depression? I can't even just wrap my head around you just just having anxiety on itself and at the same time you're depressed. That's a whole lot. That's a very big mental problem right there. But anyways, I'm gonna let me ask Michelle this question now. How do people know, like when you see your children? Now we're talking as women. When you see your children, how do you know a child is? Let's use feeling. Let's not use go deep or go to the word depressed. How do you know a child is feeling depressed or is being anxious, having anxiety? How do we know? What are the things that we see our child do, or what manner do they behave that makes us know that, oh, okay, I think there's something wrong with this child, and this is what it is, and we need to do something about it now before it gets too late.
Okay, so I would say that first of all, you need to understand the patterns of behaviors of that child. So, for example, if a particular child has been, you know, very bubbly, very lively, smart and always talking, and all of a sudden, it's like this child is starting to feel very withdrawn, or they are becoming overwhelmingly afraid of certain things. They don't want to be in certain spaces. They don't want to go to certain places. They don't want to do the things that they used to do, or they are just being so irrational in their actions, being emotional, overly emotional, crying, and just being afraid, then that is those are some of the pointers that you can see in them and say, okay, there is something wrong with this child.
Okay, amazing. So at this point now, when you notice something like that with your child, what are the first few things that you need to do? Like, just the way you have a small cut or a blister in your home, a kitchen accident or something, and you want to treat it just before you go take a proper care at the hospital or a pharmacist. Now, what are the first few things a mother can do before she can probably get an expert or somebody that could help the child? Do you understand? What are the things that you think a mother can, just a quick home remedy before, an expert comes in?
All right. So I think it's very important for a mother to create a safe space for her child, right? So you create an environment where your child feels safe and feels comfortable to be able to open up or talk to you about what it is that they are going through. So let them know that they are safe with you. Let them know that whatever it is that they are dealing with, they can always talk to you about it. Give them that warmth, that feeling of you are safe here. This place is a haven. You can always talk about it. I believe that environment is important. Once that has been created, then you can now start to have conversations with them. Talk to them. You can even open up and share things with them. Oh, this is what I've probably experienced, or this is what I went. Just create that bond with them. I believe that before now, as a mother, it's important to have that mother to child relationship with your children where whatever it is that they're having to deal with, you are the first point of contact. You're the first person that they run to talk to. So that has to be established where there is safety. They can feel safe. They can feel at home. They can feel like whatever it is that I'm dealing with, I can always talk to my mother about it, and I won't feel judged in any type of way. Once that has been established, then let them have conversations, let them talk about it, and do not pressure them. Give them time to, come around, because children respond in different ways. For some children, they are open enough to talk about how they are feeling and say, oh, this is how I'm feeling and all of that. But for some children, they probably might respond in different ways. So understanding the personality of your child and how they respond to certain situations, then you can now help them and have that conversation with them. And then when you see that, okay, this is something that I can handle within ourselves, then you can. But when you realize that this is something that I think I need an external person, a professional to handle, then, but it first starts with you having that conversation with them, allowing them to feel safe with you, then you can now know what step to take after that.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. That's a beautiful one. You went so deep and exact, so I don't start asking questions about steps again. So I want to ask Mercy Ishola. Now, she's talked about a child, going through that process of anxiety and depression, and the first step people can take. Now, let's talk about women. I know a lot of women easily get depressed because of, let's not just.
Some say learning is fun, but as a mom, I see how demanding it can be for my child. That's why I ensure he starts every day with a cup of Bonvita. Give your child Bonvita. It contains essential vitamins and minerals that support mental and physical vitality. Bonvita. Prepare them to win every day.
All right, sorry for that break. That was a commercial break, so we had to take that in prompt. Okay, so like I was saying, I wanted to ask Mercy a question, and the question is, we've talked about children. I want to talk about parents. Now, we know a lot of people, yes, despite everything that is happening in the country, and sometimes you give a woman 50K. Before, you give a woman 50K to go to the market and she gets everything she wants to get with 50K. But now it's as though as good as, give her 50K. She can't see what to buy exactly in the market. So that alone can, mess up the emotions in a woman, and you get home, the things that you're expecting her to say thank you for, react, nicely to, you understand, she doesn't act, she just start reacting to every little thing. Now that's a different case. And that thing, if it's not managed well, with the home choice she has to do, taking care of the children, and probably she's working, and maybe the business is not going smoothly and all of that, it could cause all of these things. Now, speaking from a woman angle, how can a woman manage herself to the extent that she does not fall into depression? I know it's not easy. They say women are the home builder. It's not easy having to do all of these things. They say we multitask a lot, but sometimes I feel like see, when you hold a rubber band, when you stretch it too much, you definitely find out that the thing will cut, obviously. So when you stretch a woman, to get to a point, she's gonna lose it. So now this is the part where we're trying to make sure that a woman does not lose that elasticity, that fact that she can multitask. It now becomes something else, that she turns out something else. So how can a woman manage herself, especially during this time and economy, that she will make sure she doesn't fall into depression? And at the same time, if she's not careful, her attitude, the way she reacts, can affect the husband, and at the same time affect the relationship with the children. So most of the times it comes from the woman. If the woman tries all her best to maintain, which I know is not easy, like I said, but if she can maintain, I think the home, the children might be a little bit, they might still be in the safe zone away from anxiety and depression. So what are those things women need to try to do for themselves to manage themselves?
Care is very important. As you said, we are dealing with a lot. A woman is a mother, she's a wife, she's a daughter-in-law, she's an employee, and everything. And if care is not taken, all these things can get to you and you start misbehaving and then you lose focus on yourself. So the first thing is you have to have a self-care routine where you know that you come first. I'll always say that in parenting, especially mothers, there is room to be selfish sometimes. Okay, so it is not just about putting everybody above yourselves, and at the end of the day, you're not even taking care of yourself. And that self-care is important. The moment you're not taking care of yourself, your mental health is affected. So the first thing you have to do is put yourself first. Most of the time, yes, put yourself first. So we grew up to know that if we are serving food, if your mom is serving food and you have only one meat, every other person can share and she eats without meat. So women should be deliberate about, we all share this meat. It's not about you looking good and at the end of the day, I'm the one carrying the body and I'm looking depressed and the whole world is on my shoulder. So the woman must first take care of herself. That's the first thing. Second time, listen to your body. When you have to stop, please stop. The example you gave of the rubber band, okay, when you stretch it, it gets a time that the rubber band cannot go again. And what happened? It's caught. So listen to yourself, listen to your body. When you have to stop, stop. Take a rest. And have accountability partners, people you can talk to when things are weighing you down. Okay, I hear a lot of women say they don't have friends because there is nobody to be trusted. And I'm saying that there are still good friends out there. Okay, there are still good friends. So you can be intentional about making good friends. And when you have friends, you can go out. You can have time to just leave whatever you are doing and take time out and talk to somebody. Let them listen to you. No matter how I'm sorry to say how stupid you think the word or whatever you are going through may be, speak to someone about it. Don't just carry a lot of burden on yourself. And at the end of the day, you are losing focus and you are losing yourself. So self-care is important. Listen to your body. It's very important too. Have people you can talk to. And I would say take time to rest and have fun. Okay, most times we'll say that depression after 2 weeks, if you know, we all go through moments of loneliness and, you know, up and downs and all that. And then we come out of it, moments of sadness. But when it is, you are going through that and it's more than 2 weeks, that is a sign of depression. And that time you need to stop, take a break and talk to someone that can help you. Most times what we need may not even be therapy. It is just for us to take a break and have fun, and then we can come back to all the responsibility. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that one. Thank you very much for that one. Now we've talked about women handling anxiety and depression. Now we've talked about children anxiety and depression. Now let's talk about the outside environment now. We know, yes, we've talked about self-care and all of those things. Now, if we notice that with the times, like I said, the times, which I know you didn't go into that part, the times that we are, you know, when it comes to money spending, buying foodstuffs and all of that, is so much that you see some women, when they even talk or express themselves, the first thing is like, in fact, I'm depressed. They just say it casually, like, yesterday I was so depressed when I went to the market and I bought this and I bought it. They keep saying these things all over and all over again. And sometimes I feel, yes, what you said is very good, but there are sometimes, I just want to paint a scenario, a woman that, you know, whenever it's time to go to the outside world, which is actually after work, maybe weekend, she needs to get something in the market and buy for the house or get something for herself and her children. She now realizes the hardship in the country all over again, because now whatever money was given to her, or whatever money she took to the market did not get so much for her to bring home. Now she start thinking, and the next time she meets her friend, which as you encourage, meet someone, talk to someone, she tells them, I was feeling so depressed when I went to the market. I could not even get this, what we used to eat, what we used to do this, what we used to do that. And when it's time for fun, they go out. Some even go for vacations, if possible. I don't know how many Nigerians go for vacations, because I don't know, most of us don't really believe in vacation. We just believe go out, hang out with your friends, go to pool, go to the beach, and that's it. Sometimes sit out, go to a bar, you sit down, you eat, you come back home. And you know, we feel that that's enough for us. Now, after much of these things, I've found that a lot of ladies and women that smile so much, that try to fight it, probably without even speaking with anybody, end up committing suicide because they could not take it anymore, and because probably they were talking, but maybe they didn't want people that would listen. Maybe they wanted somebody that could just lift that burden, or somebody that could just, you know, share in their pain to reduce the pain. Now, the reason why I'm saying so is because I call them the silencer. They laugh, they play, they talk, they hang out, but they are slowly dying inside. And one morning you just wake up to find out that the person has committed suicide. It's so much like that. Now, what do you think at this point, talking to women that probably are in this bracket now of women I've just described, what is your advice to such women? Now, it's not easy because they're already doing those things that we just listed, which you just listed. Yeah. They are doing them. But what's that extra thing that you think they need to do so they don't end up waking up and you start hearing, but she was playing. We even went out yesterday. We came back now. She was happy. She was even saying that she even cooked. We ate. What happened to her? Why would she do that? Now, what would you advise women in this category, or ladies in this category?
Okay, so the first thing I always say is we are all in this together. Okay, as much as the economy is not smiling, we are all in this. As much as you are still in Nigeria and you have not Japa, we are in this together. Okay, so yes. I will always say that they should look at the positive side of life. You cannot carry all the body. In fact, do you know that we're talking about economy? There was no time the economy has actually been good. If you want to be sincere with ourselves, it's just getting worse. But it has always been like this. And it will always be. It is not a cause, but that's the reality. And it is not just this part of the world, okay? But we are just feeling the heat more than others. So what I would say is, just know that you are not the only one in this. And that burden, you cannot carry it alone. So I will always say, do what you can do and leave the rest. Do what you can do. Also, change our mindset to know that you cannot, in fact, it's not about satisfying every other person in your household. You cannot always satisfy yourself. Because even if you have all the money, there will still be more need for you, okay? So what I will always say, this is not the first time I'm saying that, you cannot always satisfy yourself. So just do the ones you can do and leave the ones you cannot do. And be positive. Just see the positive side of the world, of life. Leave what you cannot do. If before now you can afford so much, and now you can't, you have to adjust. You just have to. We just keep adjusting until things get better. So I would say, just know that you are not the only one in this. We are all in it together. We are all in it. Okay. So I run a school, and so when parents come to complain about there's no money there, I'll tell them we are here. We are all here. As much as you think I'm the school owner, I still have my own burden to carry. Okay, so until you get to that point and you begin to see the positive side of the life and know that life is beautiful. Actually, it is beautiful. It depends on how you're seeing it. So you don't need to live beyond your means. You don't need to live a fake life. I'm sorry I'm saying that, but that's the truth. You're not pleasing anybody. You don't have to please anybody. You don't even, sometimes you cannot please yourself as well. So you just do the ones you can do and leave the ones that you cannot do. And then you start living life as if, until we get there, we'll put problems that we should not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I love what you said. You said how what matters is how we see life. You know, another school of thought would say, when you give make a lemonade out of your lime. You know, when you're given a lime, you make a lemonade out of it. Another school of thought says that when you have a glass of water, like a half cup glass of water, you have your water half in a cup, and a lot of people will look, and some people will look at it from the other side and say, okay, my cup is half empty. Another will say my cup is half full. You know, someone looking at it half empty will believe he wants more, he wants to work more, and will do everything to make sure that that cup is full. While someone who feels like it's half full will be a bit contented with what he has, and would always just want to keep adding. He's just going to take it slow, like a fool. Fool, I'm cool. At least it's half full. I can still manage. I'm contented with what I have. But someone who sees it half empty will do everything to want to make it full. And I know how the economy is. It's not as easy as a lot of people come out. Like I said, a lot of people package. I used to talk to some young ones. You want to be like this celebrity, you want to be like that celebrity, and all of that. My darling, if you go to what they call it, Okrika, there's what they call thrift now. They've packaged the name thrift. If you go to thrift, you get a wear, you iron your wear, you wear it, you come out, you look good, you dress well. My darling, you will be as good as anybody. You don't have to buy a cloth worth of 1 million, 2 million, and all. For me, that's extravagant. But if you're there, you are that part of spending that money. Oh, why not? Spend your money as you want. But when you are not there, spend it the way you want to, which is manageable. You don't cut, they'll say cut your cloth according to your clothes. So that's what it is. So anyways, I'm going to ask Michelle. Michelle, if Michelle is still there, I want to ask this. Now, coming from the angle of a home, we want to talk to the men now, to the men. Do you think there are any ways men can actually help women reduce this anxiety, or in fact, before that question, let me just ask this. Do you think anxiety is one of the tools, or yes, whatever is good sometimes can have its own bad, the opposite side to it. And sometimes something that is bad, like the experiences, we've had bad experiences growing up, not so good experiences, but they shaped us to who we are. So do you think there is any positive side to sometimes having anxiety? Some people will say, when I'm anxious, when I want to do something, there's this anxiety inside of me. I get to fulfill my goals on time. I get to do what I want to do quickly. I get to solve my problems quickly. But if I'm relaxed, if there's no anxiety, I will get relaxed and just, cool off and like, okay, it's fine. So do you think anxiety is one of the tools that people actually use to achieve their goal? Or once you're beginning to have anxiety, get something or get someone to talk to get it off you? What do you say?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So I would say that there are different levels of anxiety, right? So there's anxiety that comes from, oh, I have an exam tomorrow. I am feeling anxious about this exam. I need to study. That kind of anxiety can make you want to study, make you want to prepare, and make sure that
True.
you are on your A game just because you want to pass your exam. Now that's a different kind of anxiety. But there's an anxiety that it is more like a sickness. So I won't say that there's a positive side to that kind of anxiety, because at that point it's more like a sickness where somebody is constantly agitated, they're having panic attacks, they're just afraid, they're feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes they can't even explain why they feel the way they feel. That kind of anxiety, I won't say that there's any positive side to it, but it is the normal kind of anxiety where, oh, I need to pass my exam, I need to do this, I need to do that, or I need to put myself. That is different. You can say that there's a good side or a positive side to that kind of anxiety.
Okay, thank you very much. Because of our time, I just checked the time now, and our time is already fast spent. Okay, I'm just going to ask this. If you have something that you want to say to women, you want to tell children also, because I know we also need our children's support, especially when they're of age, to understand whatever situations that you might be going through. Now, what do you have for women? What do you have to say to women and the young ones out there, children out there, when it comes to anxiety and depression? Or if you have something else that is far-fetched from this, but you just want to speak it out, you just want to say it so that people can hear and learn. Can you just say that in 1 minute so we can wrap up the show?
All right. Okay, so I'm just going to say first to women, there's this thing that the society has, overly said to women over time about how they've given this perception that as a strong woman, strength to women means you have to suffer, you have to do this, you have to carry the weight and the burden of everybody on yourself. And when you do that, you are perceived as a strong woman. But I just want to say to women listening to me right now that you don't have to carry the entire world on your shoulders. there are times when you know that you need to rest. There are times when you know that at this point, I think that I am breaking apart and I need myself. Sometimes you need to actually zero in on yourself. There's something I do personally. I do this quarterly retreat, and it has really helped me to, it has helped my sanity, because I'm always doing different things. I'm in different directions. I'm trying to meet people's demands and all of those things. And there are times when I just feel tired, I feel overwhelmed and stressed. So what I do is I separate myself from everything. I take away time from social media. I take away time from everything that can be disturbing and just rest. Sometimes rest can be as good as you're just sleeping all day, you're reading a book, you're relaxing your mind, you're not worried about anything that is happening to you. I'm saying this because as women, we take a lot of things on our shoulder and it overwhelms us. And another thing I'm going to say to women listening to me now is that do not zero in on whatever it is that you're going through. There's something I've come to realize, that when you have a bad circumstance in your life and you focus so much on it, it becomes like the overall of what your life is about. And that's what leads to depression in a lot of people, where you're fixated on the wrong things consistently, that you don't even see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like the other speaker said, look at the brighter side of life. Focus more on the positive side. I know that this sounds like, oh, a cliche, but this is what helps. When you change the narrative, change how you define things that are happening to you, change how you explain these things, and say that, okay, even though these things are happening to me or looking like they're happening against me, I'm going to redefine the narrative of these situations in my life and own the narrative. This is my life. This is just for a moment. This too shall pass. You can have your positive affirmations that you say to yourself. These things work. And so for children, I'm just going to say that as a young child, regardless of what you're experiencing, please always make sure that you do not take decisions that would that will mar your life. Learn to talk to people about it. You have parents that you can talk to, but talk to the right people, because many times what has led children into the wrong path is talking to the wrong people. So you want to make sure that you have the right people, trusted adults that you can always talk to. Create activities that helps your life to move in the right direction. There's one thing I'm grateful for my dad for, was that growing up as a child, I was always very depressive. I was always saying, oh, I am bored, I'm tired, I don't like this. And he would tell me, why don't you tune into your creative side? Do something positive with your life. Tune into your creative side. So I grew up learning how to draw, learning how to do artistic stuff. And so whenever I was feeling stressed or something, that was my way of relieving that stress. So as a child, what are the skills that you can develop that can help you to harness your potential and come out of whatever dark place that you are crawling into? I believe that these things are very important for both parents and children.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. That's amazing. Thank you, Michelle. That was deep. You spoke very well to the women and you spoke so well to the children. So I'm going to ask Mercy Shola for also a beautiful parting words with our viewers. Now, Mercy, what do you have to tell parents out there also that might be, and now this is not just to women, I'm talking to both men and women at the same time, because they also need to be part of this journey to make sure that we have less suicide out there. No suicide, actually. Say no to suicide. Less depression, less anxiety. We can control our environment. In just 1 minute, I'm so sorry, our time is fast spent. In 1 minute, please, what do you have to say to them?
Okay, I think Michelle just addressed women. So let me talk to parents on how to help their children, because the truth of the matter is we've heard cases of children giving up on life, committing suicide. And sometimes when children say they are depressed, we don't pay attention to them, especially in this part of the world where we think children lack emotion. We don't take their emotions seriously. And that's one thing I'm always afraid of. So for parents now, when your children are talking about being depressed, sometimes they don't use the word depressed. They can tell you, just like the other speaker just said now, when they're telling you they're tired, they are bored, I don't want to do this again, I just feel like working out, and then we just shout on them, shut up, what are you saying? Do you even understand what you're saying? A friend of mine told me a story of her daughter. She said she could bet then that she was a wonderful mother, until the girl told the mom, I'm depressed. And by the time the girl was gone, the mom said she was truly depressed. And she didn't notice that because she feels she was there, she was doing her best, and our children can never fall into depression. So I would tell parents, please pay attention to your children. When they tell you they are tired, don't just overlook it. Ask questions. That was the first question you asked the other speaker, and she spoke extensively on that. And I'm going to say, open communication in the family will help a whole lot for both men, women, and children. We should learn to communicate our feelings. It's very important. So we don't keep quiet on it. And so when a child is communicating his or her feeling, please take time to listen. If you can help, you can help. If you cannot help, you have to seek for help so that your child will not end up committing suicide. It's very important. Okay? Now the session has rounded up and children will be coming on with results and all that. Please don't let us focus on their weaknesses. We can focus on their strength and use good words for them. Don't compare them. And then when you're able to do all this, you see that your children will keep getting better. They may not be there now, but definitely they will get there. So don't let us overlook communication in the family. Listen to your children's feelings when they talk to you about, and then please help them when necessary. It's very important. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, Mercy, for that one. We have messages tripping in on our page. A lot of people are saying, well done to our two guests, Mercy, Shola, and of course, Michelle. And some quoted what you said. It means a lot of people are following through and you're actually reaching out to women. From Mercy, Mercy said, do what you can do and leave the ones you can't. Be positive until you get things better. We are in this together. That is someone quoting what Mercy Shola said. And of course, always see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Positive affirmation matters to a whole lot. That was from Michelle. So a lot of people are saying well done to the guests because they have done fantabulously well. Let me use Mr. Macaroni's word. And at this point, I would like to say thank you so much, Mercy Shola and Michelle Tobia Desanya. I'm going to read your profiles again. Mercy Shola is a family and life coach, a child sexuality expert, a founder, Parenting Hub, also a writer. And we have Michelle Tobia Desanya as a speaker, an entrepreneur, author, creative director, Valina Creations, and empowerment advocate. Thank you so much, the both of you, for coming on the show. Thank you. Can you hear me? Can we have Mercy Shola and Michelle Tobia?
Yes.
Okay. Can we have? Okay. Yes, we already have you on the screen. Can you wave us by? And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Can we have Michelle? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time with us. And